The talks women share to be bold and take risks. The talks women say what they feel and mean what they say. Yeah. The talks believe in your power, so much power. Yeah. The talks where women share, women share.
Hey, everybody. Yours truly, Takara Nicole, coming at you. Happy Saturday, or whenever you're catching this. It might be grand morning, grand evening, grand afternoon, whatever. We are happy that you are a part of the Vault Talks family, and we're super excited to have you here. So, as you know, we kicked off the month with all things health. Last week, we had Viola Hall and her segment on Holistically You Too, as she always drops those nuggets every first Saturday. And so we're really excited that was quite the show, along with Daniel Lyle. So all things fitness. If you guys missed that episode, definitely hit us on our YouTube channel. And it's easy to find. It's Vault Talks Women Share. Can you imagine it being anything else but that? So go ahead and check out that show. You definitely want to catch it. We talked about intermittent fasting, along with just different things in reference to the mind, body, soul, even biblical references around fitness. And so really thankful for last week's show. So ladies, y'all ready to hit them with this information that they need to know? Y'all ready?
Yes, girl. Come on.
Ready? Okay.
Y'all ready? Come on now.
Y'all gonna do the drum roll? Y'all ready for the drum roll?
Yes.
Starting the first Thursday in August, Vault Talks Women Share is coming to you at 6:30 Central Standard Time. Woo woo! 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So you still get 90 full minutes of the hottest from us ladies, the women's of Vault Talks Women Share, but we're taking it to a whole nother level. So no more Saturday. Bye-bye Saturdays. This is our last Saturday. Right. Our last Saturday on the show. So we're taking a 2-week sabbatical, but we have not forgotten about y'all. We are going to share the best and the greatest since we've been back in action April 27th. So you'll still get us a little something while we're in transition. But from here on out, the first Thursday in August, Vault Talks is going prime time.
Hey.
We're excited about the transition. We're really super elated that the show is growing. And so we want to be able to capture people when it's best. And so people are busy on Saturday mornings, and so we're thankful for our faithful listeners, those who started off with us when we were the radio show, and now our viewers. We thank you guys so much. So we're excited that you guys are going to be on this wave with us. So the first Thursday in August, you can catch us live 6:30 Central Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And don't you worry, we're going to make sure that it's embedded in your head. So don't worry about that. So with that being said, we're missing our Isha this week, but she still did what she was supposed to do because she gave us the juiciest quote for it's quote time. Yes. So, in her absence, here we go. In order to bear fruit of the Spirit, you have to first cultivate the Spirit. So if you didn't know, now you know. We're talking about spiritual health on our show this week. So here's her quote. Again, in order to bear the fruit of the Spirit, you must first have to cultivate the Spirit. So we're going to let the evangelist go ahead and take this one on a run. Go ahead.
I am so happy we on the same page. Go ahead, boo.
You keep them shoes on. Come on, brother. Come on, brother.
It's okay.
Come on here.
In order to be the fruit of the Spirit, for me, is you have to have good fruit, not bad fruit. Which meaning your intentions on everything that you do for me is being one-on-one with God, but bearing the fruit of fresh fruit, not bitterness.
Oh.
Mm.
Come on.
We can't be bitter. We cannot be say we're a child of God and have a bitter spirit. For one, that's not going to work at all. Period. Not in the book at all.
Not
You
at
have not at all. That's not going to work.
I
You have
ain't
to.
looking.
Once again, we go to the same thing. It's the inner us. So we're
Mhm.
healing again the inner us. Once you heal yourself in your inner you can bear out fresh fruit. You can give off fresh fruit, and you can. We have to deliver messages all the time. That's why we're transparent at all times, because no one is perfect. But it's not good to give off bitter fruit. So I start off like that. I'm not gonna take it away because I guess it's special to me. And
Man,
I know
I need
we have
you to
to
go.
listen on this, so
Oh,
I'm letting this go.
oh my God, I need you to go in. But the little bit that you did say, yeah, your spirit can't. There can't be a hint of bitterness within it. In order for you to really cultivate the spirit the way that it ought to be made. Um, there's no what's the one saying that I constantly hear is that hate is such a strong word. It's better to say you dislike something or about someone or whatever the case may be, but to really go into that word of hate, it's like it's a 4-letter word, but you have to understand, like, in order for you to shine, in order for you to be your best self, you need to just start sowing those seeds of greatness, sowing those seeds of manifesting, sowing those seeds of reaping what you sow on that end. You can't expect the foundation of your plant or your tree to bear great fruit unless it starts from the root, the bottom.
Yeah.
It has to start from deep down within you, whether your heart is connected to your mind, but your brain can't function without your heart. Everything comes back to that heart. So if you're not able to, or you're in the transition of doing the work to forgive yourself, to forgive what the next person has done, but if you really do start with yourself and forgive that part of you, then it shines out. You glow in a different way. That nature right there is something that is unbelievable, and people start to notice it before you even do. So if you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, or
Right.
you keep doing what makes you happy, then that light is going to shine, and we're going to be able to see it within the spirit. Everything about you is just going to exude greatness or love, or however it is that you want to be seen as. That's what you're going to put out there in the world.
So I add on to it. The fruit of the spirit is like it's love, it's peace, it's forbearance, it's goodness, it's faithfulness
Mm-hmm.
for one, and it is also gentleness and self control. We also have to have self control. So that's how I like the fruit of the spirit.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to always. It's always start with self because we want to plant seeds in fertile ground at all times so we can blossom out. To be the best that we can be as a person, genuinely, before we can help somebody else heal and get delivered. We have to be healed and delivered
Correct.
amongst ourselves as well. So that's the fruit of the spirit goes for me is working on self. Self is a good thing because we can help somebody else come out, whatever bondage that they're in, to be the best fruit of the spirit that they can be in themselves.
That's true. That's so true.
Yeah, Isha
Um,
got us. This is a good one. This is a good one.
she always
This is a
great,
good one.
great ones on that end. I also like to say on that, just kind of piggyback what you're saying. I mean, at the end of the day, like, what are you really like? How would you, for someone who's really in that bitter state or in that like place of denial, how would you even approach that sister or that friend or that person and say, like, okay, well, this is what you could be doing. How would you go about it as far as that's concerned?
We always supposed to guide them, but like
Mhm.
my grandma always say, you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. We are
Correct.
supposed to guide them true indeed, and we're supposed to tell them the truth at all times. But it's up to them to want to better themselves, to be a better fruit of a spirit in themselves. We can't make nobody do nothing what they don't want to do, but we have to feed them the knowledge, and we have to tell them what is right, what God's way, how He wants us to be. It's up to them.
Yeah. But it's also like,
We're supposed to
even though you're
encourage.
fixing yourself as well, like you're in the process of, being renewed on that
Right.
end. That doesn't mean that you stray away and you leave these people out to, hanging out there and just
No.
like, without anything. You still do your word. You still help them out. You still speak light into them. And that's really all you can do.
Yes,
Is speak light into them and say, you know what? I get where you're coming from, but let's do it this way. I think that you're wasting too much energy on the negative in regards to being on a positive note.
We have to always keep it positive. No matter when it's in the negative, we still supposed to speak life into people. We still have to guide them.
Yeah, that's true.
This is such a powerful quote, and I'm just sitting back and I'm listening, and I'm like, what can I say around this one? So when I think of the fruit of the Spirit, I think of there's so much fruit to bear. It's just what's in your inventory? What's in your inventory? And so here recently, I know for me, freedom has been one of those things that has been really allowing me to see joy in a different way, because joy and freedom go together, and joy is a fruit of the Spirit. However, you have to be able to be willing to cultivate your ground. So when you think about farmers, they know that they can reap the harvest if they cultivate the ground in the correct manner. And it's also according to the seasons as well. If we have a really bad season, that can affect their harvest. And so, even with us, we can look at that from a perspective of understanding that seasons can affect our harvest. However, we still have the power to change the season, because it's that power of making the decision to be able to put in the work to cultivate yourself, to be able to receive what you desire to manifest. And so a lot of people don't really realize is that we have what we need inside of us. It's not so much about waiting for a season or waiting for something to pop up. We are the reason it pops up, but we have to believe in that.
That's true.
Yeah. Believing in yourself is a major part of it.
Man, look here. Major. And I could tell you for years I wasn't there. Now, I'm not saying this to be cocky, but you can't tell me nothing, because I understand him. And I got my relationship with him, which is the pathway to me being who I am. So, I don't say it in a cocky way. You got some people say, you can't tell me nothing. And you literally can't tell them nothing. That ain't it for me. I look at it from the fact, well, you can't tell me that God can't change anybody, because I know what he's doing with me, So that's why I say there's nothing you can't tell me no more, because it's like, I know what God has done for me. I know what he continues to do for me and those connected to me. I get emotional because, I mean, in the old saints, they talk about when you think about all that he's done for you, it's major. Because, I was a mess. I would tell people, I would cuss you out and not care. I would talk about you, your mama, your grandma, everybody, not have no feelings, no filter. And now I'm a motivator. I'm an influencer. You couldn't tell me that would be, my path at all whatsoever. Because I was hurt. I was broken. I was destroyed. I was damaged. Didn't want to help nobody because nobody was helping me.
The tick for tack.
Yeah. And so
that's true.
Now seeing it from a whole different perspective, it's like, man, I went through something so I can help others. That in itself is like, you use me and my mess to help somebody else. Like, I'm minute, So, when we really think about the power that we have to cultivate others, that's a major deal. And so we want to make sure that we do have, there's no bitterness in our hearts. There's no brokenness that we're spewing on others when we're called to literally cultivate and help people align in not just the things of God, but just in aligning in their purpose, which does add up to the things of God because it all falls into his will. So yeah, I get emotional when I think about that because I was a wreck. You couldn't, man. Yeah. There's no way you could tell me that I would be where I am now. I'd be like, yeah, right. Yeah. You cash that, it's gonna bounce, boo. It's gonna bounce, and there's no overdraft fees, okay? Like they ain't gonna cover that check. You trying to talking about me being where I'm at. And I make it personal because somebody is watching this and they're wondering how God is gonna make a blessing out of what they've been through. He's gonna do it. It's a part of the process. So, you really focus on the fact that it's not so much of what's being done to you, it's what's being done for you. You can really handle the seasons, the highs and the lows in a different capacity. So.
Speaking on that, I definitely agree with you, Takara. And also, in something that you mentioned earlier about how you're, like, can no one tell you anything? You are where you are because of the belief that you have within him and the conversations that you have. But I don't want anybody else to think that, because our way turned out that way, that doesn't mean that you're meant to go down the same path and do the same way and the same things. Because for years I sat there and thought like, oh, there's like a one fix for everyone type of thing. And that's really not the case. What you're gonna what you're gonna go through is very unique and tailored to you.
Yes.
I had to realize for years that I had that shut down, could stare at you, look at you like a ghost kind of feel, and kept them moving like whatever. And I literally had to be broken down into that. It kept happening. And a friend of mine really had to tell me and steer me like, you know what, this is going to keep happening until you actually deal with it. If you're able to deal with it and really understand why it's happening in the first place, you're going to continue to see the same thing happen over and over again. And it's really about breaking down what it is that's bothering me in the first place, understanding your inventory, understanding what came out of it in order for you to now push for past the things that you were like, no, this is no longer of me. This is no longer who I am. This is not who I stand for anymore. And making those changes. And those changes can be very small. I don't want anybody thinking either that they need to be huge.
Right.
The smaller they are, the more significant they are. So really just take the time out, to know yourself and to love on yourself and to care for yourself, because no one else can feed off of that. No one else can understand or really connect with you when you do testify, when you do tell your story. If it's like, I flew by this and then it's not going to make sense to the next person. And I think at the end of the day, we're all meant to either reach a nation in some way or form.
Come on.
Or we're meant to reach one specific individual after all that we've been through. So, it's definitely take the time to recognize, because now I'm going to tell y'all about me right now. I literally had to go through what I thought was like the end, like the black hole. I actually had to go through it in order to realize that this is not the life that God has set for me. I need to go a different direction. I need to go a different route. I need to, even being on the radio show and, behind the scene, nobody could see you back then when we were in the actual building. And now that we're out here, and I'm like, I got to just say yes. Let's take the opportunity. Apparently God is just steering me in a direction. Let me just go ahead and and just say, we got this. Not I got this, because I don't have it. I think I have it, but we got this together. When I think that I don't have it by myself, definitely God is always next to me. He's right here next to me, telling me, you got this, baby.
Yeah.
Look,
everybody's process is different. Everybody's process is different, but it's what you learn through your process to make the better you.
Exactly.
And the cool thing about it is that when you can really trust people to hold your hand while you're in the process, that's powerful, because we can't do it alone. And for me, I thought I could always do it alone because I was used to doing things alone just as an only child. So that was my mindset. And then, my mom always preached to me the power of being independent. So I had to literally learn how to be dependent on God and to flip my mindset around being independent, because it wasn't helping me when I was going through these tough times and nobody was able to come in and help me because my walls were so tall. So tall, like Berlin Wall tall, So, I was there. And so now that, I have sisters that I can come to, and I want to let everybody know who's watching Vault Talks Women Share, and Isha in her absence, the four of us, we're sisters. We talk about everything and anything together. When we have a tough moment, we talking. Either we texting, we talking, we video chatting, because we know that this show just isn't by chance. We know that we're connected as sisters to help one another get over. So we really hope that you guys watching the show have somebody in your corner, because life gets tough. Life is real. And the more that you answer your call, we all got a call, but are you answering it is the question. To be able to have those people around you to assist you when things get tough, when you don't understand some stuff, because not everything is going to come to you in a manual, literally. Yeah. It's not going to be like, here's the book, here you go. Chapter 1, clause 5 says, no. It don't work like that. Tanisha might have my page 6 and Liz might have my 8, so being able to connect with women or whoever, we're saying women because this is Vault Talks Women Share, being able to connect with you to be able to help you with your spiritual walk. So it's the second Saturday. You got something for us?
I do. I kind of miss Isha right now in this moment because I have a list. I have some lists.
Hey, so if y'all didn't know, now y'all know. Every second Saturday is debunking your debt with yours truly. Liz is in his house. We got Lady Liz dropping them major nuggets, some fire nuggets about debunking your debt. So come on and drop them, Liz.
Yes. So I wanted to go over how to create a budget. Okay. 5 steps to create a budget. And I don't want anyone feeling as though like that first month comes around and you're like in the negative. It's okay. Okay. Typically it takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months to get to where you start to see those positives come about. Okay. And everyone messes up the first 2 because we don't know what we're doing. Okay. So one thing I wanted to keep in mind is that, be very honest with yourself about going up when you go about your budget. Think about all the things that you spend. And the first things first is really just writing down all your expenses. Okay. I used to do this. In fact, a friend of mine from way back used to help me out with this when we first created my first financial plan as to, what my budget what I wanted to look like. And the first thing I was able to do was really figure out how much money am I spending on a daily basis, and then equate that to a 30-day calendar month or a calendar month. First thing you want to do is I used to walk around with a little notepad, little spiral notepads. Yeah. Like Blue's Clues. I was writing it in. Okay. Sorry for the, baby references because that's all I watch now. So make sure that you're actually writing down, or in your phone nowadays, because we have that access, that you're note taking and you're actually saying, okay, if I spent $4 at the Starbucks, then that's what I need to type in. And then just go through that process of writing every little cent down to the penny as to how much you spent. Okay. Do that for a week and you start to notice some habits that you may want to get rid of. Okay. And then when it comes to you, like, tallying up what it is that you have on the income side, make sure that you're actually adding up your net gross. Okay. Not what that's pretty much saying what you take after taxes, what they take after taxes, because that's the real number that you're going to look at. That's going to give you what you bring in, plus anything extra that you may do. If you need little side hustles, or maybe, you have another job, whatever the case may be, add it all in. Okay. It's next thing what you want to do. I kind of spoke about it. It was kind of like into, but track your spending. Okay. Um, really understand, even when you take out cash, I have this kind of bad habit that when I feel like I don't know what I do with the cash that I took out.
Me
It
either,
just
girl.
disappears. Like one minute I had $20, next minute I have 50 cents. Okay, so you really want to understand where that money is going. That's why I say take that notepad, take your phone, go into your notes, and make sure you jot down every single thing. Tally that up for the whole month, and that's really going to give you the basis as to how much you're really spending, giving you the bigger picture as to what you're spending. If you need to, keep receipts. And I know everything is a technology savvy type of world, so have on your phone a folder separate and just take pictures of receipts if that's the case. That saved me a lot as we moved over into this new realm, keeping track of everything. That just means that I no longer have to have little bits of paper balled up. God forbid I leave it in my pocket when I wash it. Um, and then what I'm like, that's that receipt I needed, right?
Right.
Gone now.
Yeah.
So you really want to make sure that fine tooth comb, understand what it is and what you're doing. Definitely pay yourself. Don't forget to pay yourself. Okay. And what I've been doing lately is just sticking it in a jar. Okay. So that way I can't touch it unless I break the whole bottle open. So
Wow.
next things is set your financial goals. Really understand the nitty gritty of it all and put it all in one place. Okay. Don't have papers here, there, on your phone. If you're going to be committed to using one place to track everything, because next time you turn around, you're not going to know where, like, wait, I thought I wrote something down the other day. Don't use little pieces of paper. Okay. Really just take a book and just really just focus and leave everything in there if you can, or if you're going to use your phone, set titles for what it is that's going on. That way you have a clear understanding of where everything is going. You also want to make sure that I mentioned this the first time, and just as a refresher, you want to make sure that you have an emergency fund set up. Okay, so it should start with $1,000. Most people don't have $500 to their name. Make sure that you set $1,000 to the side, so God forbid if something does come up, you're covered. Okay. And then also, make sure that not only are you paying yourself and you're setting aside some extra funds, but also put aside for, like, understanding your bills, what those come in. Are there things that you can get rid of? So these monthly or sneaky, I call them sneaky subscriptions.
Yeah.
Because we forget that we actually have them, or we're just not, or we stop using it altogether. So why are you paying for it? So definitely dig in a little deeper when it comes to that. Also, next one is decrease your spending or increase your income. So if that means that, we notice, I had this habit too. Okay. I don't do it anymore. But I go to Dunkin' Donuts, and Starbucks used to be my enemy or a friend of me sometimes. And then, I feel like I'm cheating on double D over there. But then, they got the caramel macchiato that's like hitting.
I need to treat myself.
Right.
Treat myself.
Right. At least once a week. Then I realized I could live without it. I did not need it. It wasn't that serious. Okay. So I can make my own coffee and it'd be better at home. Okay.
Right. Look, with the Aldi's creamer. Come on here. Come on.
Yes. Okay. I'm a Haitian, so for all my Haitians out there, we do evaporated milk. Okay. For something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, definitely take account as to what you're doing and decrease where you can decrease. So what can you live without? What are you what are you really sacrificing on that end? So, and even if it's not a sacrifice, what can you do to make life better? How can you start to increase your income so that way it fluctuates on that end? It's never going to be the same, but what can you really let go of on that end? Let go and let God, because that's pretty much what
Come on.
I had to do it, because it was no joke. Like, God, why do I spend so much on that?
That part. Look, you don't even be like, hold on.
That's my weakness. Kit Kat.
Look, and we all got them.
Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Good bars. Every time I go to Dollar Tree, I'd be like, God dog, pay $1 holiday. Yeah. Look here.
All right. And then last but not least, stick to your plan. Okay. Don't be discouraged that, like I said, the first 3 months is going to look crazy. Okay. Do not be discouraged. It's a revelation to actually see what it is that you're spending on a daily basis. And then when you break that down into a monthly, like, oh my God, you start to realize, okay, I could do without this. I could take lunch a little, maybe 3 times out of the week versus buying it, buying lunch outside. So you really just want to make sure that you're committed to you, because no one else is going to be committed to you the way that you do it. Okay. And if you're having trouble, no worries, reach out. Someone in your network, on your team, your friends, whomever, someone is actually there who knows way more than anyone, than you do probably, or has a little bit more knowledge, or can help you like fine tune and tweak the type of things that you're already doing so that it can really make sense to you, that you would want to stick to it. Okay. Those are my little 5 cents as far as creating a budget. Let the success reign. We got this. We're going to do it from now on. Let's go.
All right, so y'all look out for Liz's class teaching y'all how to create a budget, because she coming with that fire. Yep. You heard it right here. She gonna be teaching y'all how to
I got y'all.
because she got it on lock. That's what I'm talking about. Man, so I have to laugh, and maybe my mama watches, maybe she won't, but I'm so thankful where I'm at an age she can't spank me for real. But
she could try.
She'd be out of breath trying to catch me first. I can run now, shucks. So when we talk about the word budget, my mama feels like that's like, oh, she's watching. Hi, Mom.
Found you already.
Mom, I'm talking about you. So we just got done talking about budget, Mom. Shout out to Delois Steele, my beautiful, amazing mama, who supports me in everything I do. Thank you so much, Mom. But we talking about budget, and so my mama does not like that word. She does not. But we teaching her how to love that word. Ain't that right, Mom? You can come in. You can go ahead and come in. We're teaching her how to love that word. My mom is a hardworking woman, and she works for the post office, and she getting ready to retire. If you tell her when, she knows the date, the hour, the time, the minute, because she's putting her time. So, for even retirees, it's really important for y'all to understand the power of budgeting, because you guys have lived your lives to an amazing extent to where you should be able to enjoy. I don't know about y'all, but it pains me when I walk into a Walmart and see a retiree greeting me.
Yeah.
They should be living their best lives. And a lot of times it's due to this information that we're sharing here on the show when it comes to debunking your debt. A lot of the times it's just information that is not shared. Or we don't even know where to start with it because it's so foreign. And so having these healthy platforms and having these segments like debunking your debt and teaching people how to really understand the power of wealth, because wealth is indeed as a power, and it's definitely an exchange that we have control over in the earth to be able to reap, sow, and all that. And so being able to understand that from all levels. And so thankful for Liz being passionate about debunking debt and being able to share these nuggets, because especially as women, when we come aside the man in the household, somebody got to be in charge of these finances. Somebody got to be able to teach a thing or two to be, keep each other accountable when it comes to budgeting. Because I know for me, I'm a stasher. I keep different places on purpose. So when this one is out, I feel like I'm telling the business. Y'all know the older women when they go into their breasts and they be like, "Hold on, baby, let me see what I got there." Yeah. Like, do I really want your $20 knowing where it came from?
Hey, a 20 is a 20. It was more than I had before.
Right.
But I say that because they're so wise with stashing money, So I mean, to me, stashing money is a good thing because when you go to it, like you said, Liz, stashing money can be in the form of putting it in a jar. For me, it's I have a bank account that I don't touch. I have the debit card to it, and I don't touch it. It's not even in my wallet on purpose. Right. So if I see them cute shoes from Ross that I really want, and I know that I got the money on that other card, I'm like, no, So, hey, it's real. Mm-hmm. It's real. So
now, by all means, it's okay to spoil yourself from time to time. I get packages from Amazon. I'm like, Christmas time,
right?
In the middle of July. Right. And that's totally fine with me because from time to time, I do need to treat myself. There's things that I need or that I want. It's not so much because there's a difference between needing and wanting. Okay.
Now that right there, that's
another one.
That is a whole nother topic. As I said it, I was like,
whole nother topic.
Whole nother topic. But just to give you a snippet, okay. Needing is like, wait, so no, okay. Yeah, needing is something that is necessity. Okay. You need this in order to survive. I need a roof over my head and I need clothes on my head because I cannot get arrested for indecent exposure. Okay. Wanting is something that, I can live without. It's a choice. I can sit there and say, you know what? I kind of want this for my birthday, or whatever the case may be. And unfortunately, if I don't have somebody who's going to buy it for me, best believe I will buy it myself.
Amen. Amen.
So we'll definitely, I'll make that a topic next time.
I love it. Yeah, now that's a topic for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're excited. This woman here has been waiting behind the scenes. I know she's been anxious to jump in the game, as I say. So today's focus is all things spiritual health, and we have a dynamic woman coming up to the platform. Go ahead, Tanisha, take it away and introduce this amazing woman who's going to be a part of the show.
We have an amazing woman of God. Her name is Pastor Cassandra Elliot. I am so happy to have her on with us today for the show. So we're going to bring her in, you guys. Just embrace. That's all I can say, embrace.
Hello. Yes.
Hey there.
How are you? We can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
There we go. Let's try it again.
Good morning.
There you are.
Yes. Good morning.
Hi there. Grand rising.
Hello.
Glad to be here. Amen. I've been watching and listening to this amazing conversation. It's been great.
Thank you. We're so happy to have you here. We decided to talk about all things health this month. What a lot of people don't know is that this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so we wanted to incorporate all fashions of health in some shape or form. So really, really excited to have you to the platform. Can you share with us a little bit about who you are?
I am Pastor Cassandra Elliot. I am a native New Yorker that lives in North Carolina. I am a 14-year kidney recipient and a 7-year breast cancer survivor.
Wow.
I am a songwriter. I am a teacher. I am a recording artist. I am a mentor. I am a coach. I am a wife. I am a midwife. I love people. And when you guys were talking about cultivating lives, it just really resonated with me because you got to be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right people, doing the right people in the right moment. And you will know that based on the fruit you bear.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the fruit you bear is the fruit in the lives of people that you cultivate, that come into your life, that ask or request for your help. And based on the time you've been with them, when they come out, they're much better than they came in.
Amen.
Amen.
That cultivating is something else. I started a watch party and everybody was talking about that cultivating. And even I've been writing notes the whole time. When you begin to talk about those tall walls that we all have in our lives, which means we keep out the help that we need to bring in, it literally can cause our spiritual health or development to be retarded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you got to acknowledge that, and you did so well to acknowledge it. I want to honor you for that, and just honor you ladies for knowing that sometimes the process is not easy. How God is going to use you and the things you go through, it ain't really about you.
Yeah.
It's about coming out on top, winning and being whole to help other people win and be whole.
Yeah.
That's it. And you know, when I learned to start knocking down my walls, God gave me the analogy of, do you want to continue to have these tall walls, or are you going to let me show you what a bridge does?
Powerful.
So the walls, when you think of a wall, you keep smacking it.
Yeah.
But a bridge allows for you to literally transfer over to the next place in your life, to be able to meet what's on the other side of that bridge. And so when God broke it down like that, not only did I break down, but I started to really work on unlearning the things that would cause me to build strong walls, and to realize that it came from a place of hurt, abandonment, rejection, all these elements that continue to, I never dealt with. So when you don't deal with a thing, it only gets taller. And the taller it gets, the harder it gets to knock it down. And so God was just showing me that. And I was like, okay. So I encourage people, even as the identity coach, to really knock down your walls to discover you for real and what he has for you. Because walls can be such a distraction from you really operating in the things of God.
The Bible says how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity. And when you literally tear down your walls and you allow what you need to come in, there will be such a place of unification that we all become bridges. But until people get the revelation that if I don't let in what I need to come in to prepare me for the building or the process of me being a bridge, you'll always keep up walls. Walls will be your friends. Walls will be your city. Walls will be the place where you dwell. And guess what? Walls keep you by yourself.
Yeah.
Walls keep you divided and keep you in a place of isolation. Bridges do not cause isolation. And I want somebody to get that revelation today. Are you a bridge? Or have you been building walls? Or have you not acknowledged that you got walls up that are keeping you from being a bridge? That's that cultivation. I can't be a wall, a bunch of walls, and cultivate.
No.
It's so powerful, man. That was good.
It's impossible. Thank you. And I'm telling you, when God dropped it on me, it blew my mind. Because I literally had to be confronted with the fact that I had so many walls up. And some of them were invisible. Some of them were visible. The majority of them were visible. And so there was some that I was like, well, where did this come from? Because if anybody knows me, and my mama did this part, she taught me to ask why. And I've been asking why since I was a little girl. So they'd be like, oh, here she come again. Because
I can hear you. Why? I can hear you.
Yeah.
You got a wild voice. You got a wild voice.
I do. And I'm like, I need answers. And, I'm like, but why? But why? No, that doesn't make sense. But why? I need to make sense. And no, that doesn't make, but why? And so I'm a researcher. Like, but why? I need that to be able to be like, oh, okay. And then once I catch it, I'm gone. I'm like the road runner. Beep, beep, gone. Like,
let's take this to another level. There's a difference between walls and boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Walls keep us in, walls keep out. Gates, windows, doors, those things are active in our lives because you got to know the difference between a window, a door, a wall. Gates allow things in, give things to access in and out. That's why we say you got to watch your eye gates, your ear gates, your mouth gate. You got to watch the gates over your life. And this is the part of your spiritual life. You can't see everything. You can't hear anything. You can't speak anything. And so boundaries allow people to know that you can come this far and no more. We all have to have spiritual boundaries in our lives, which means that the boundary will keep you healthy. But if you keep open your boundaries and let everything cross over in, you'll be inundated with stuff you want and stuff you do not want. And if you don't have boundaries in your life, one boundary is learning to say no. The conversation of no. No is a complete word. No will save your life. It'll save your ministry. It'll save your family. It'll save your finances. No will save you on all areas of your life. Every terrain of your life, no will save you. And so I teach people the no conversation. That's a boundary. Because many of us have become people pleasers.
Right.
And when we should say no, our mouth says yes, because we've not practiced our no. Our no should not offend people that know us. Your no should not offend or repel people that love you. No is a word of preservation. I don't hear it's quiet in this church today. No is a word of preservation, because if you're always giving out, when do you have time for people to pour in or for you to take moments of refreshing? Everybody needs a window of refreshing. When you shut everything out and deal with you, self-care is not selfish. It's not, okay? And so when we begin to talk about this no conversation, when you are covering your borders, your boundaries, no. There are three things that I teach. One is I'm not available right now. Number 2 is, can I get back to you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 3 is, let me check my schedule. If you don't have those responses in your repertoire, people will run your life and you will lose control.
Yeah, that's true.
And it doesn't mean they don't love you. They just don't know no better. They're just used to you being who you are. I'm trying to tell you, I was a person that didn't know no. No caused me to run around with a blood pressure of 173 over 100 in my early 20s, which allowed my kidneys to fail, which allowed me to have many strokes while I was in ministry. At the end of church, I would fall out of faint. My husband would carry me home. And I'll never, ever forget it. When I was playing the keyboard, I was singing, Jesus, just going in. And my feet started burning on fire. And I screamed in the middle saying, Jesus. And they had to carry me off the keyboard out of the sanctuary to deal with me. And I left the service with no musician while they still went on. But I'm telling you, your spiritual health, your mental health, and your physical health are so important that if you don't know in your language, you will run yourself down and not be good for God or be good for anybody else, let alone good for yourself. I'm talking out of experience. And so over the years, I've had to endure things that I believe were not necessary because I didn't know how to say no. I love people. People love me. But when you are living in ministry and always on the go, y'all, I didn't even know how sick I was. I never went to the doctor. My husband took me to the doctor finally to find out that my kidneys had spots on them. Because my mind was so spiritual, so heavenly, that I was no earthly good. There must be balance
Yes.
and boundaries. If you don't remember anything else I say today, your life must have boundaries and balance. And and no, it's not a cuss word. I can't hear nobody. It's quiet here. No, it's not a cuss word. No, you love yourself enough to preserve yourself. Because here it is. When you really need me, I can't be the me I need to be for you because I ain't saying that.
That's right. That's true.
I ran the red light. One of the mothers in the church used to say this. Come on, let me take you back to old church. Don't run the red light. Don't run it. Red has a purpose. It means stop.
Yes.
And most of the times our bodies are talking to us and we're not listening.
Right.
When you're tired, sit down. When you're sleepy, go to sleep. Don't allow people to pull on you so much that you ignore the very balance, the very function of life. Come on, y'all. Sleep is good. If you don't have sleep, you can't be refreshed. You can't be renewed. The body can't heal itself. The body can't do what it needs to do.
No.
And I'm telling you, people that love you won't be offended by your no. This is a part of your spiritual health. I'm telling you. God wants you to say no. I'm speaking on God's behalf. God loves you enough that he says, I want you to live and live a life that's full of abundance, but you can't do that if you're running all the time. And here's another thing. What you running after? What you running for? What is the gain of your running? And I always talk about this, and this is definitely part of our spiritual health. If you don't know your purpose,
there you go.
Listen, Miles Monroe said this: where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. And if you don't know your purpose, you'll be running after all things, doing all things, trying all things without hitting the mark of who you are in God. And let me tell you this for anybody who's listening. Time is more shorter than it was before when our mama said, Jesus is soon to come.
Yes.
We are living through the signs of the times. You can't ignore what's happening in our world.
Yeah.
So when I say to you, please don't run the red light, it means the times that you can preserve your energy for what's coming in your family, what's coming against your faith, what's coming against, your spiritual fruit, what's coming against your purpose. The times that you know that you need to take time to preserve yourself. I pray that somebody's being convicted right now, that you can look at the landscape of your life and say, God, forgive me for running after things that were not for me. Forgive me. Oh, come on, y'all. Let's talk about it.
Amen.
Going after trends that were not your truth. Trends will change, but the truth of God will not.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Seasons will change, but the truth of God will not. Things will here we go. People will love you today, choose you today. You feel popular today, but choose somebody else within the next 24 hours. And all that you did to gain their likes and to gain the popularity in a group of a crew of people,
Jesus,
would have been wasted energy because your focus was in the wrong place. And in this season, your focus has got to be upward. Let God do the horizontal work. But when people see your life is so tapped into your purpose of God, the right people will be drawn to you and the wrong will be repelled. I hope I said something that encouraged somebody today. They was getting a little quiet in the church.
That was confirmation for all of us. That's confirmation. We talked about this.
It's just powerful how here you come saying what we all need to hear. I know at least us three women who are sitting here with you need to hear that, especially understanding, A, listening to your body, B, the power of no.
Yeah.
And, the whole people pleasing thing. I know for me, I didn't realize I was a people pleaser until I started seeing my therapist and she talked to me about codependency. And when she broke that thing down, I was like, never again. I'm good. I'm straight. Just understanding what that is. And it takes away from so much of your energy that you need to be utilizing for your purpose and for what you're doing. And so I guess for me, the confliction was being a coach. People need what you have. Being a pastor, people need what you have. Being all that. So literally learning those healthy boundaries, as you were saying, so you don't cross the line of being a people pleaser, and you don't cross the line of codependency. Because when you, as a coach, a pastor, anybody who's a servant leader, those lines have to be very distinct and very clear.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that the hard way. I'm just learning this. It's been 2 years now, and I feel like I've been free. I have let my leaders that I was under use me for their advantage all the time and not thinking about myself. So I was running myself down, having seizures in church back to back. I had to really learn to, for one, get some rest. For two, learn to take my medicine on time. Stop worrying about trying to be the first one at the church, just help everybody else, let somebody else do it. I had to learn that my health is more important. And when you people, they know what your situation is, know that you suffer with seizures majority of your life and don't care. That's the sad part. They don't care about me, but I cared about them so much that I put them before me. But now that me is more important than them, and then I put God before me, then it's a better life for me. It really just opened my eyes, and I gravitate to Pastor Cassandra Elliot so much. Like I met her, and it's like God, I kept telling me to go back. And some days I miss her videos, but I go back and I listen because she was feeding me. Like I said, I'm still being molded. And I have no problem saying that because I know I'm a newcomer. But for me to be the first female in my family to walk this walk behind so many great men is mind-blowing. And I love the fact that how you feed us. And I love you so much, even being a part of our show today. It's a blessing because I wanted my sisters to understand and see what I've been getting fed, what I've been seeing. It's not that to be bragging, but I respect you so much. You are a blessing in disguise for me because you saved me. It was one time I wanted to give up. I wanted to say, no, I'm not going to do this walk. I can't do this because I was letting negativity come, let them break my character down, saying that I wasn't worthy to even walk this walk of my calling. But you saved me that day. You saved me. It was you and your friends. Y'all saved me. It's the guy with the glass. I can't even think his name right now. Y'all saved me so much that day, and I thank God for y'all. That's why it's so good to not to keep everything to yourself. You have to share because somebody need to hear that.
Yes.
And
this is why this platform is so powerful. And I promise you, and I don't think I've even told this story, I was not looking to do a radio show. It was not on my mind at all whatsoever. I lost the passion for it years ago after I went through a situation. And the lady who was helping me market myself, she said, T, you got a lot to say. You need a radio show. And I'm like, what? And she's like, look, you can be on this platform where I'm at. And it literally happened just like this. And when God gave me Vault Talks Women Share, I didn't know what that was entailing. Now my whole perspective on even that is so much more because this platform is needed for so many reasons because women need to come together and share more about matters that literally pertain to their world. And that's the mission of this platform because women can be the most cattiest creatures on the face of this planet and not realizing that we need each other to be the amazing women that God has created for us to be. It's not about what you're doing so much to where I am wanting to be you or Liz is wanting to be somebody else. It ain't about that. It's about the spirit of collaboration. It's about winning souls for the kingdom. It's about really being able to transform people's minds and hearts by women coming together. I got something Liz ain't got. Liz got something I ain't got. We put that thing together and it's God.
I want to share this. I just heard this for you as I was sitting here. I just heard this. I got a download for you, Takara. When you said vault, I literally heard that vaults protect precious things. And that these talks are going to outlive you. That somebody in the future that needs to know what it was like for women to come together and say words that have power, not just power, but passion and truth.
Yeah.
That your yes will save many, many lives because you showed up in a place of obedience. Whatever you do with these, make sure you protect them. Vault, protect precious things. And there's nothing more precious than words that we speak that become life to others.
Mm-hmm.
These talks are going to cultivate people who have no voice, who have no friends, who have no community. Vault talks will be people, women's community, because they'll say, I don't know them personally, but they are reaching me to a place that I didn't even thought was possible. Your words, these talks will outlive you because vaults protect precious things.
Jesus.
Amen.
Amen.
Wow.
Amen.
I receive that. Amen.
Yeah. And I want to also say to anybody else that's listening, as Evangelist was talking, you must have people in your life that don't love you for the gift, but love you for who you are.
That's it.
When the gift is in operation, do you just love me?
Right.
Or do you love me for what it is that I give to you through my gift?
Yes.
We must allow those type of people in our lives, because guess what? No matter how gifted we are, we're human.
Yeah.
And we have human moments. Can you know me in my humanity and in my spirituality and still love me?
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Love me on both spectrums and don't judge me, but know that I'm human.
Yes.
I bleed like you bleed. I cry like you cry. I still got faith. I still believe in God, but I'm having a human experience.
Yeah.
And that's real. That's real. We have real days that we have real issues and real problems and stuff. I put up a post the other day. Has anybody ever had a human moment when everything just came at you at one time, but you still had faith? All the responses.
I'm sure.
They're like, absolutely, having one right now.
Right.
But you gotta be honest enough to know that in your transparency, people won't judge you. That they'll love you when you tell your truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I felt like I needed to say that. Like it was bubbling. I wanted to say what I need to say to you about vaults. But I also wanted to say that get people in your life that love you for you and not just for your gift, because your gift isn't always working. Like, we could be talking, ha, ha, ha. God will give me something. I go back to laughing. Ha, right. But you got to know me on both spectrums. And then here it is. Be careful who you trust with your truths.
My God. My God. My God.
Everybody can't handle your truth. I just had surgery last Tuesday.
Jesus.
And I have been recovering. This recovery has been different. I've been very emotional because this has got to be the last kid. So what happened was last year I was in the hospital for 15 days, got double focal pneumonia. My kidney took a hit after 14 years. And so they had to put me back on dialysis. Can you imagine what that was like to be a kidney transplant person, to save my life, put me back on dialysis? So now I'm at home back on dialysis, and I have to do dialysis 4 times a day. And I did it for 12 years. After 2 years of marriage, I was diagnosed with renal failure because of hypertension. And I did it for 12 years. And one day God stepped into my chaos. A 25-year-old girl walked into a conference with Bishop Ellis and said, God said, give you a kidney. She was an exact match as if we were twins. It happens in 1 in 9. When God does a thing, he completes it. I mean, he does it so awesomely. And then for this to happen to me, to go back on something that I was delivered from, I'm believing God that if you did it before, you can do it again.
Yes.
Yes.
But God talked about the process.
Yeah.
I still got to go through the process, and this time the process is not as easy.
Yeah.
But I know what's ahead of me is the promise of God for my healing, according to Isaiah 53, 4-5. By the stripes, by my stripes you're healed.
Yes.
Amen.
And so I know that my wholeness is already done. My healing is already done. But it's the process. You got to know God in the process. Or everything you believe will fall to the ground. and you will lose your testimony. And I declare, I will not lose my testimony. God is with me. God is for me. God is around me. God is working through me. God loves me. You got to get an affirmation for your life.
Jesus.
I will not lose my testimony that God is my healer. So even being here with you guys today is a testimony of God is my strength. Strength like no other. Strength like no other reaches me. Because it took everything for me to press the button to come on today. But I know that he's my strength, and I can do all things through him who gives me the strength. And I knew that in this moment that God needed to be glorified no matter what I dealt with this morning.
Jesus.
My voice and my words will outlive the process that I'm going through.
Amen.
Pain that I'm feeling right now, God's glory, God's going to get his glory out of it. Get your glory. Get your glory.
Yes, God.
Just get your glory. All is well already. I declare that all is well. And so cultivating the lives of others, even when you're going through the process. There were times where God would say, shut down. And there were times where God would say, show up. Because I want to show you something. You said something. You said, I wouldn't have even known myself if I had not experienced these things. And when God said, show up, I want to show you something. It's a lesson that you'll never, ever forget because it's about the kingdom and not about you.
Amen.
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 Wow.
I got shivers.
I know, right?
Got cold for a second. I've been hot. I told them earlier, the last couple of days I've been extremely body temperature has been hot, and I'm not quite sure what's going on because I don't have a fever or anything, but my blood is boiling, and I just cooled down. As soon as you started talking, I was like, oh, I can like that.
It's the fire. The fire of God in you.
Yes.
That's what that is. You are being so obedient to what he has for you, and you're heating up. That's all that is. That's the fire of God.
You girl, I kid you not.
Woo!
I definitely believe in those boundaries. Those boundaries are something that certain people do tend to take that inch, take that mile. You give them an inch, they take a mile from you. There's no getting it back, unfortunately, on that end, because they think they have some type of power over you. And when you reclaim your power and say, you know what, this is not working. I felt a weight lifted. Like the last couple of days, it's just been knowing that with my ladies here, with my girls here, that I have to be the bigger person. And when you realize that people are going to test you, that's a test on purpose. God set that up to just see how you're going to answer. And they mentioned it earlier, being bitter and things of that nature. And within the last few days, it's been just be honest. Make it come out, or let your answer be this is the truth.
Yeah.
Regardless if you want to understand the truth or not, regardless if you want to believe the facts that I'm giving you, this is what needs to be done. And I've been having such a tough time not trying to lose myself in the process.
Yeah.
I think that's where the fire is bubbling. I think that God is telling me that you're right where you need to be. Don't give up just because a hiccup came.
The hiccup is a learning process too.
Yeah, and I'm learning
working for you.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm learning that I'm literally with the right people at the right time, associated and talking and making sure that therapy is always happening in my life. There's not a moment where I don't speak to anyone or we have these conversations that this is not therapy for me. This is therapeutic. This is something that these conversations need to be had. And I'm honored to be in the presence of you, of all of you. And at the same time, just understanding like, okay, the power of saying no is okay. The boundaries that I put up for myself, okay. Some people are gonna notice a change, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's your season to release. It's your season. It's your time. We all go through this, and I'm trying not to cry as much. But
I don't care no more.
Oh God, like for real. Growth among all of us in this period of time in the last 2 months, I can truly say the growth in the last 2 months has been mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I know that what I'm doing on my end when it comes to my sisters and all of y'all who I love, and I tell you, I write y'all down all the time. I finally understand the intercession and prayer because I stay praying for all of us because I know what all of us go through. And most of the time I don't share. I just look, I observe because I'm an observer. I watch. But that's me getting comfortable, me as well, where I'm at right now in my life. But to see you, Liz, I thank God. I thank God for bringing you guys in my life. I thank God for you every day, sis. You are glowing.
That's what I was getting ready to say. The fire of God is allowing for her to glow. And that's what God was saying. The fire of God, you think it's heat, but it's literally the fire of God that's causing you to glow because he's causing you to be a light even more than you realize. So in order for you to be a light, you have to glow. In order for you to glow, you have to go through the fire.
Yes.
And so it's all working for your good. And so it's not just by chance that you call yourself what?
I don't know which part you're going to, but a musician.
Yeah. Well, what do you call yourself on Instagram?
Sherry Lightbright.
Indeed.
You just tried the mic, like boom, there you go.
Right. Yeah, and that's what God is doing.
But here's the thing, though, that wasn't a name that I gave him myself. That's something that's always been said about me.
Yeah.
Family could be not cruel, but funny because we're actually funny with each other. They're like, "Oh, you're clear. You're not brown. You're not light skinned. You're clear." That's what my auntie says, and I love her. But it's just it's a minor joke, and then other people call me like, "Oh, you bright. You are so bright. You're not a color. You're just bright." I'm like, okay. All right, whatever.
I wanted to talk to Liz real quick. So Liz, as you were talking, this is what I heard. That people that take advantage of your boundaries will have to pay the repercussions. For those of us that establish boundaries and people take advantage of it, they have to know that they've done it. God's going to give you language to say to them, I had a boundary that you disrespected. And because of that, there must be a repercussion, which means we need conversation. When I establish a boundary, it's for my life. And for you to feel that it was not important and you just literally ignored it, we got to really talk about that because it talks about the person and how they see you, how they feel about you. And that's for all of us. When you don't respect my boundary, here it is. Here's one boundary. I don't take calls after 10. But yet you called me at 10:05. Then expected me to answer the phone and got an attitude when I didn't and left me a nasty voicemail. Well, what is our conversation then, Liz, Evangelist, Takara? It is, well, I explained to you that my time that I shut off from everything is 10 o'clock. And if you understood how that was important to me, 10:05 wouldn't have been an option for you to use for me. We don't have conversation with people that we love, that we know, that we're getting to like, that are getting to know us. There are no repercussions. We just let them keep running and running and running through our lives, running through our world, and there's never any conversation of, here we are, it's quiet in this church, correction.
Jesus.
When you love people, you correct them in love. I love you enough to tell you, you just respected my boundary. Listen, I'm up all night, but it don't mean that you can call me.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't hit. It's quiet.
Yep.
I'm a,
Yep.
I'm a musician, recording, doing whatever it is. But at 10 o'clock, it's time for me, my house, my family, whatever it is, as coaches, as mentors, as midwives, we got to know that when we've poured, to turn off the spout.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah.
Because is the spout now for clients and customers, or is it for our family, our sons and our daughters? Let me tell you this. Don't give yourself to the world and leave leftovers for your family. Here we go. Don't give
Yes.
yourself to the world.
Reprioritize.
Wait a minute, and give God your leftovers. God don't want your leftovers. He wants the best that you have to give. So therefore, there may be boundaries. Like for instance, I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, but does it mean you can call me at 4:30? No. Because it's me and God at 4:30, me and God at 5:30, me and God at 6:30. You should know. And here it is. And I'm done. We can never assume that people know unless we tell them.
Yeah.
You hitting nuggets right now.
Somebody drink on that. Never assume that. Here we go. Not just children, but adults. Never assume that adults know. You can never think that people are reading your mind. If you don't tell people what you need or what you want or what you desire or the order of your day or your life, they won't know. So please, can we do the people that we love a service by telling them what we want and what we need?
I need
Because we can't
I need it.
Come on, Liz. We can't be mad at them if they don't know. We can't assume that they know. Come on, y'all. And that's something that we look over and and it will cut the confusion in our relationships.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Don't try to figure me out. Let me tell you about it. We give people too much latitude to try to figure it out when we can just go ahead and tell them all about it. I'm done.
She hitting him. You hitting him. Oh God.
It's time to say no. It's more time to say no than yes. I say yes more than no. And sometimes I gotta get slapped in my face. She just slapped me right there.
I feel like I had that V8 pop in my forehead. That V8 pop. That's what I had today.
You are hitting.
It'll make your life. It'll make your life much better. It'll make your life much better. It'll make things much smoother. You be like, why they do that? Because you ain't telling them not to.
Oh my God.
Why they keep doing that to me? Because you never ever corrected it.
Yeah.
And when we think that, oh God, help us today. When we think that people know that we're hurt, oh, they should see it in my eyes. They ain't looking at your eyes.
Wow.
They're not paying no attention. They done what they did and moved on, and you're left with the pain.
Yeah.
You're left with the bitterness.
Jesus.
You're left with the bruised emotions and the broken heart.
Yeah.
Why are we so afraid to tell people that they've hurt us? Because you know what? We feel that we're giving them the power. Listen, the power is the knowledge that now they know. And if they ever try it again, you will know what it is that they did before. And you can control your response. Or, y'all ready for this? You can control your access. Either access is denied or access is gained. But it's only gained by how I know you treat me. Last thing, y'all, I promise. You got to tell people how to treat you. You got to teach people how to treat you. You can't assume that people know how to treat you.
Yes.
Because you're good to people doesn't mean people will be good to you.
Amen. That's facts.
You can take that one to the bank.
Well, look, I'm gonna take that to the bank and some. All these nuggets you Look, I don't know about y'all watching this show, putting it on the replay, but this woman has been blessing us for some time now. I mean, from the time she kicked in to now. So we thank you. We pray blessings over your life. We pray that everything that you poured out, you will reap 10 times more for just sharing with us on today. We thank you for the woman of God that you are. We thank you for the position that you have in the kingdom. We thank you for just continuing to be such a light and continuing to understand and unlock you even the more to be able to share what God has given you for the people that God is sending you, even in this hour. So, woman of God, it's not just that you're being connected to Tanisha. Now you're connected to all the women of Vault Talks Women Share. Because, ladies, I'm about to make an executive decision. We need to hear from her once a month and what God is sharing in reference to maintaining our spiritual health, because this woman not only hears from God very clearly, but is bold enough to share what she hears to be able to empower these women who are watching this platform. So we thank you for your time, your energy, and in regards to your health, we are standing in the gaps and around you and believing God that He's going to heal you just like He did it once. He's going to do it again. You for just even the doctor's report, sharing things that are going to be ready to blow your mind, even in the next 60 days, that you are going to get favorable reports. We thank you for just the woman of God that you are, and you are definitely a daughter of the kingdom, and we thank you for just the platform that you have that's getting ready to expand because of your transparency and your realness and the fact that you're authentic in the things of God. So we thank you for who you are. We thank you.
Amen. We love you.
We do. Ladies of Vault Talks, I don't know about y'all, but I am so freaking mind blown right now. If I can be transparent, I wasn't feeling the greatest when I pressed play. And so I know why now. It was definitely a distraction for us not to be able to receive what God had for us this morning. And so we thank the woman of God, and y'all can be expecting to hear from her once a month for sure about maintaining spiritual health. She has become the spiritual mother of All Talks Women. Wow.
Thank you. Such a blessing.
And it's so funny because, shout out to you, sis. I know you've been trying to catch the show. So yes, you jumped on at the right time. We're going to talk offline, but you know, I'm thankful that God has given me these women that make up Vault Talks Women Share. And I tell them all the time, I can't do this work without them. And thank you for being able to trust the vision. And thank you for being able to pour in. Liz, you got something huge on the way. Huge.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
You got something.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Huge. Because you are global.
All I can think of, I don't know. All I can think of is that song. I can't remember who it was written by, but the oh, I am healed. You just keep going, girl. Like I'm just in a whole nother place, a whole nother realm right now, and I'm just very excited that you're able to hop on. Ooh. Anyways, lots. I'm so excited for what's about to come from everyone. Every single woman on this platform has something that they're going to bring. They're going to show out, and it's going to bless you in some way or form. So just pay attention. Be in alignment. Just stick with us, y'all.
And that's what it's all about. Being in alignment and staying connected, and the people understand the meaning of collaboration. It's not about me being bigger than you or you bigger than me. It's about us. And when they can understand us together, how powerful it will be, it's mind blowing.
It is. It is. So if you are just tuning in, you gotta hit replay. You gotta watch this from start to finish. This has been such an amazing 90 minutes, and we thank you guys all for tuning in. Now remember, please remember, starting August 6th. August 6th, Vault Talks is moving Thursday nights. So we're excited about that.
Hold up.
Yes. So,
Leo season on full deck, okay? Can't wait.
Whatever. We ain't here.
The greatest. I'm a little conceited when it comes to my birthday. It starts on July 24th, all the way into the end of August.
Okay.
So thank you. Appreciate it.
We might have to do a little something extra for you. A little something.
Talk about so I celebrate my birthdays. I don't know. I hear a lot of older folks right now, or just people of my generation saying, "Why am I celebrating for what? Girl, I made it.
Yeah.
That part.
That's all right there.
Another year. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's do this."
So, look.
That's
See?
my okay. Don't be y'all. I'm the ninth.
Again. July 24th, she said it's her birthday.
Well, you have to do something real special for all the Leos in the house right
now. We'll let you come up with that. Pastor Cassandra Elliot, you bounced out. I'm not sure if it was a connection reason, but we see you in the comments. Thank you so very much for what God has led you to share today.
Yes.
I'm on high right now. I'm on high. So with that being said, we go end the show. We thank you guys for tuning in again. Now, remember, for the next 2 weeks on Saturdays, you guys are going to be catching some of the best episodes of Vault Talks. And we might just be asking you guys, which ones do you guys want us to air on Saturday? So make sure that you guys are following us on the Facebook page so you guys can be in tune with everything that we're doing. Stay in tune with the updates that we're getting ready to share in reference to Thursday, August 6th. I got a special surprise for y'all. The girls don't even know it yet. So I got a special surprise. We got a new segment kicking off calling the Coaches Huddle. So women life coaches will be coming together and sharing about different topics during the Coaches Huddle. So really excited about that. But I got a little something for the ladies of Vault Talks, and y'all ain't even got the tea, the juice, the water, the pop, the lemonade, whatever. Y'all ain't got it on this one. So I'm keeping y'all, in the low for the high. So we're excited about what we're doing here on Vault Talks. Thank y'all for sharing with us. Thanks for sharing a moment of your day with us, and we love y'all. Mwah! And we're out.
Maybe y'all.